what we're going to do now is show you LATS, and we're using a demonstration for your hours so we can play with it and show you how it works. What you will receive is an instruction sheet. You will get these from HR. Okay. These are the logon instructions. It's a lot of words and it's not going to take you much time. What you're going to do is go to this web page and you enter your username, which is your first initial and your last name. If you have the same name as another Toro employee, and we have lots of you, you will know that your email has usually an extension to it. You will use whatever that username is. So we will enter me for this demonstration. The first time you log on to LATS, you're going to use a default password. Everyone uses the same one. It's default. That is the default password. You will be forced to change your password as soon as you use that. We ask that you keep it secure, as we insist you do all your passwords, and you do not share it with anyone. And that means anyone. If you are not at work, you will fill in your timesheet the next day you are at work. And there's a very good reason for that. This is a legal document. This is your account of your time, and we pay you for your time. So we don't want you to share it with anyone. And for the times when you forget that password, and 60% of you will, forgot password. Okay, it happens. So this is what your timesheet will look like. It will say, "Welcome, Roberta Jackson," except put your name there. And if it's not your name, something's wrong. Okay. In the middle is the name. Let's see if we can do it this way better. Is your name. And underneath it is a date. That says vacation, but what do you think that really is? What is your vacation based on?
Your hire date.
Your hire date. That's your hire date. That's how LATS knows what accumulation you're supposed to be on due to length of service. So one day after you hit 5 years, you will get more vacation time accruals. So that I do want you to check that. 98% of the time it's right. But if it's a 2% where it's not, we have to correct our records in New York. So go to your HR manager right away if it is wrong. Underneath says personal. It will be whatever the current fiscal year is. This is a demo, but live LATS will show right now July 1st, 2012. That is the day our fiscal year started that we're presently in. And that you don't have to check because that will be right. On the top right is the status of this timesheet. It is unsubmitted because I'm not done with it yet. If it was submitted, and I will show you one, it will say when I submitted it, and once my boss approves it, it will tell you when. So you can track your timesheet at all times. On the left is your supervisor's name. If that's not correct, please tell your HR department so we correct it right away. The fiscal year is right there. It is the timesheet period in this fiscal year. It's controlled by LATS. You don't have to do anything for that. And your work location is a general term. That's something that you don't need to worry about. But here in the middle is your schedule. In this demonstration, this is my schedule in Nevada. That should look right. If it doesn't, let us know. But that should be your schedule. And LATS will open to the present timesheet. Remember we said it's a 2-week timesheet? Okay, so it always starts on a Sunday, and it goes for 2 full weeks ending Saturday at midnight. That's always what your timesheet will look like. The difference will be the dates on it. And if there is a holiday in this timesheet period, right up here it will tell you holiday and the date, just in case you forget. Okay, we really want you to know the holidays. So there are no holidays. This is really the current period we're in. There are no holidays. And look what I did. On Monday, I entered the time I started work. I made my cup of coffee. I unlocked my computer and I looked at the bottom of the screen, which is not showing in this demonstration. I have to apologize. Oh, it's in the bottom left-hand corner. 10:54 a.m. The time is always on your computer screen. And I entered that time on Monday morning. At the end of the day, I put in the time, I locked my computer, I left. That takes me 2 seconds in the morning and 2 seconds at night. Please do bookmark it on your browser, your app, but don't save the password. So I go in the morning, I open my bookmark, put in my password, I enter my time, I save it, I'm gone. That's it. There is a safety feature on LATS. Remember, this is your legal document. If it's inactive for 10 minutes, it will automatically log you out. If you should get up from your computer and forget to lock it, you don't want someone else on your timesheet, right? But that's why you have to save the data as soon as you enter it, because if it should time out and it's not saved, your entry's gone. So just enter the time, save it, log out, you're done. So you see Monday's done, Tuesday's done. It is Wednesday, August 1st today, and I entered the time, I got to campus and started working. What am I going to do next?
Enter your time at the end of the day.
Right, when I'm done, I'm going to enter the time. On the days when I'm traveling, what do you think I do?
Enter when you come back to
The next
campus?
day, I'm going to enter what I'm doing. But we are demonstrating, so I want to show you something. Down here, let's go back. On the timesheet are in and out times. We never enter lunch out and lunch in. It's part of the standard grid. We do not enter that at Toro. All of our employees are taking an hour for lunch. LATS will just deduct it from your timesheet. We are not looking at what time you go in and out for lunch. That's between you and your managers. So never enter your lunchtime in and out. Okay?
What if I have a day where I take half an hour for lunch?
We do have an hour lunch. So LATS doesn't look for you to enter lunchtime. So whatever it is, you don't enter it. Okay.
Okay.
Did I answer your question?
Well, if I only take a half an hour one day for lunch, then
What is the reason that you're changing your lunch time?
I'm going to leave early for a doctor's appointment.
And you have your supervisor's permission?
Yes.
Okay. You could do that. But I'm going to show you another way to do it. Because you're not required to put in your in and out time for lunch, so I don't want people to get in that habit. So I will show you what will happen. Actually, why don't we do that with today? Okay? Because we are in demo mode, let us change this morning to taking that out. And let's put in, to make it easy, 0800, and you said a half hour?
For lunch, yes.
Okay, well, you're leaving a half hour early, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so, and that would mean that, oh, look what I did. Okay, and that would mean that you are leaving instead of 4:30?
Yes.
Okay, so it's 4:30, and you're leaving for the day, and we're going to hit save. There's that lag I told you about because it's a hosted solution. So, you see these? LATS will always tell you with a yield sign what's wrong, that something is wrong. And if you move the cursor right over it, it will show you the reason. Time worked or charges are less than expected for the day. And it says 8 hours because on a Wednesday, I'm scheduled to work 8 hours. So, this is what we do. On those occasions, we go to our leave drop-down menu, add leave category. And I'm going to click it, and we're going to enter a daily balance adjustment. In order for it to stay, we have to hit add leave category, and a new line is going to come up. See it? Daily balance adjustment? So in order to make LATS happy, I have to account for 8 hours today. How much do you think I'm going to put in as an adjustment? A half an hour. That's right, but why?
to make up your 8 hours.
Right, because I actually worked 7.5 hours in this demonstration, but I do need to adjust it by a half hour. I took a shorter lunch time. And because we don't want you to get in the habit of entering your lunch time, this is the way we prefer that you do it. So, there's my daily balance adjustment. And I'm going to put in a half hour, and I'm going to hit save. And that yellow yield sign is gone.
Okay.
Okay? We don't use the adjustments often for obvious reasons, but when it's needed, it is there. So, shall we pretend I'm taking a vacation day tomorrow? Okay, let's do that. So, tomorrow is Thursday, and there's the vacation line. And I'm going to take 2 vacation days, Thursday and Friday. So, what am I entering for Thursday?
8.
Right, and what am I going to enter for Friday?
6.
Exactly. And then I'm going to hit save. And it worked, didn't it? Those yield signs are gone. It's very happy. Okay. Obviously, there's something wrong with Tuesday. What's wrong with Tuesday?
Less than 8 hours.
Less than 8.
Exactly. Exactly. So that is the basics of how LATS works. When we can account, we have to account for our scheduled hours, which I did. I'm taking 2-day vacation. If you are sick one day, the following day you will enter that you were using your sick leave. Let me show you your leave banks. At the bottom of every timesheet, or leave banks. What you start with, what you used. Remember, I just took 2 days vacation, 8-hour day and 6-hour day. What did I earn? And my tentative balance. It's all tentative until you're finished and your supervisor approves it. So, earnings. Where are my earnings? I told you that you're going to get prorated earnings every 2 weeks, right? Well, we do require you to be here a little bit more than 3 days into the week. The second Wednesday of every timesheet, you will be credited with the prorated vacation for those 2 weeks. It will drop down in the middle of the second week. So watch. So in LATS, it did deduct 14 hours from my vacation bank, and provided everything else is on schedule, I will have a balance of 246.85 hours on the next timesheet. And that's how you track all your leave time. I just want to go over a few things about the leave time. We did talk about what happens to unused sick leave, right? What about unused personal leave at the end of a fiscal year? What happens?
You lose it.
You lose it. So please use your personal leave before your vacation leave. Makes sense, right? Floating holidays. We get 1 day with approval we want as our personal floating holiday in a calendar year. And if you don't use it by December 31, calendar year, what happens to it?
You lose it.
Gone. So please, use your personal days, use your floating holiday. They are your days. And we do recommend you use them first, because otherwise they will be lost. Make sense? Okay, so we've talked about vacation leave, we've talked about sick leave, personal leave, we've even talked about floating holiday. We did touch on different types of leaves, bereavement leave, jury duty. As needed, you go to HR, and it will be downloaded into your 2-week timesheet. The next timesheet, it won't be there unless you need it again, and we will put it back in. Making sense? Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to submit a timesheet, but we're going to go backwards a little bit. We're going to go to the prior period. This is how you go from one timesheet to another. Up here, there's a couple of ways. You can hit previous and go, or pull down the calendar. So let us go to the prior week and hit go. And here is a timesheet for the prior week. Now you know I haven't submitted it yet. How?
By the status.
It says unsubmitted. And I'm actually late because I should have submitted it by the next Tuesday, which was yesterday. So I have to submit it now. I can tell because there are no yield signs. I actually accounted for my expected hours. I work some days, I have a personal day there, I have a personal day here, and there is a vacation day here. Okay, looks good. So now let's see what happens when I go to submit. We go down here to submit. This submit button will not show unless it's completed correctly. So that's your other hint. So as I hit submit, I have to attest that I'm certifying this is accurate and true, that I've done this correctly, and okay, or cancel. And that just went to my supervisor. It's down to submitted date, time down to the second. And it's now in my supervisor's bank. Yes?
If I've already submitted a timesheet, can I still go back and look at it?
Yes, there it is. It's there. Let's say I made a mistake and it wasn't a vacation day, it was a personal day. Let's change it. So here's that same timesheet. It's submitted. I can unsubmit it on the bottom. And we're going to change this to a vacation day, correct? So let's take that out. I'm going to delete that, and we're going to enter vacation day instead. And how many hours is this? It's a Friday.
6.
6, got it. Okay, let's save it. No yield signs, it's very happy with it, and now I'm going to submit it again, but I also have to certify again. Okay. And I look down the bottom. There's the update leave. And it is now sitting in a bank waiting for my supervisor to approve it. And the reason my supervisor knows, he or she just got an email in their Toro email account saying, Roberta Jackson's timesheet is waiting for your approval. And if he or she does not approve it, after a number of days, they're going to get another reminder. And none of us want those reminders, so we take care of it very quickly. Sound easy? You can go back and look at your submitted timesheets. You can go forward and enter advance time if it's approved vacation or personal or floating holiday. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, and it takes seconds a day. Questions? What do you think will be the most difficult thing you need to remember in using LATS?
Hours instead of days.
Right, it's hours instead of days. And LATS will always give you a hint. You'll get a yield sign if you're not on your schedule. It will say, whoops, you're scheduled to work 6 hours or 8 hours on this day. It will actually feed it to you, and it won't let you submit anything unless it's fine. Most weeks, there are no problems. You'll enter your in time, your out time, submit it, and it's over.
This is going to be so much better than the paper timesheets we've been using.
Easier?
Easier, more accurate.
And I don't have to worry about making mistakes on my leave.
Yes, it keeps it for you.
And by the way, I'm glad you bring that up. We found that most of our employees tend to cheat themselves. Remember, in the old days at Toro, we did everything on paper. And when we checked employees' additions and subtractions, you cheated yourselves. And the other big thing is, one of the other reasons we really wanted this system is when employees reach the next plateau to 3 weeks or 4 weeks, you didn't give yourself the credit. LATS has it. It's automatic. It won't fail us. So that's another reason we like LATS, to give you all the benefits. Okay. When you have questions, and you will, in our experience, some of the campuses have been using LATS for many months now. Our experience tells us the most difficult thing is putting it in your morning and your evening routine. After 2 or 3 weeks, you won't be thinking about this anymore. Right? Now, the second Friday, you may not think to submit it, but by Monday, you're going to be in a brand new timesheet, and that's when you go, oh, I have to go back and submit my timesheet. So it's a very simple system, and there are no more math errors. So when you receive this from your HR department, please do go on to LATS, put in default for your password, set your own password, and start using LATS right away. If you have any questions, call your Human Resources Department. Thank you.